I'm back. Hey everyone, it's Sarah, otherwise known as Tracy's sister, and I'm back to share with you my Home is Where the Heart Is mini album, because after posting my first scrapbook YouTube video, I had such wonderful response from all you YouTubers. You guys are so encouraging and friendly. I thought I would add another video and officially join the YouTube community. Anyways, thanks so much for watching that video, so I hope you enjoy this one. This was actually my very first mini album that I ever made, and it's a Bo Bunny chipboard album that I covered with Basic Gray Wisteria collection, and I used throughout various rub-ons that coordinate the Wisteria Basic Gray collection rub-ons, and along all of the edges I inked pretty much everything with Concord Grape Tim Holtz Distress ink. Pretty much everything in the whole album is inked with that. So that's just some background info on how I put it together. I used 3 rings, and I just added some pretty coordinating ribbon just to pretty it up, and I used a bathtub chain that I found at a hardware store to attach these charms. Just a key charm, not sure where that came from, and this chipboard heart actually came from the album. It came out of here, and I just covered it with paper, inked the edge, put a hole in it, did the eyelet thing just to add it as a little accessory. So this transparency, it says, so it's like home is where the heart is. This transparency came from a friend of mine, so I'm not really sure who makes it, but it was just so perfect and appropriate for this album. And basically what this album is, by the way, is it's pictures from my old house. I live in a different house now, but it was my very first house that I ever bought, and we spent a lot of time doing gardening and working on the yard, so I took a lot of pictures of that. So this album is just a collection of pictures from my first house. So perfect for the very first cover page is my front door, and this little picket fence I just hand drew it and cut it out and used pop dots to adhere it, to give it you know, to make it stand out from the page a little bit. Another little rub on there. These are pictures of hydrangeas in my garden, and a lot of these pictures are collages that I did on my computer. This particular collage, I used a picture of a hydrangea as the background of the collage, so that's how I did that effect. But this is just a piece of vellum that I adhered with some brads and used a little bit of stickles to decorate it. And this page here, these were the bleeding hearts in my garden, and I used some brads to attach it. Did a little bit of doodling on the side. This little piece of fabric here is actually just an iron-on, like it's meant to go on a pair of pants that have a hole or whatever, but I just like adding things with texture, so I used that. And I found these 2 buttons. These actually came off of a blazer that I had bought, so I thought they just match perfectly, so I used them. Just put a little bit of string in the middle, and you'll find these flowers throughout the whole album as well. They're all from the dollar store, and I just did different things to them to make them different. Like this one I stamped with a stamp, and of course I inked them. And I did some layering just to alter them a little bit. And another rub on, used a little bit of stickles in the middle. This page here did some lollipop flowers, also used a rub-on from the Wisteria collection. These is just pieces of organza ribbon, and these are pieces of chipboard that I covered with the paper, and I took some circle punch and punched some circles and sprayed them with glimmer mist, and I inked the edges, crumpled them up, and then layered them with the rhinestone. This one I did the same thing, but I used a stamp and added some stickles. So just to create those cute little lollipop flowers. And this grass, it's just basically 2 different colors of paper cut using the grass scissors, the edging scissors, and then I just inked it and then layered them with pop dots. And over here, this is actually, I can't take credit for this idea. This is a toilet paper roll. This is my sister's idea. She's done it in mini albums she has done. And I flattened it, covered it with paper, and decorated it, basically. Used a little tag here with a rub-on and some dollar store flowers, button and a rhinestone. Now the tag inside, I use this opportunity to take all of my autumn photos that didn't really coordinate. Like there's a lot of orange in these pictures, so I like my pictures to match my paper for some reason. I'm just anal that way. So all my orange pictures that have orange in it are on this tag, so it's just isolated from the rest of the album a little bit. But anyways, on the back I did some hand stitching, and then I took what's it called? Embossing stamp pad, and stamped with, like, just stamped the embossing pad or whatever onto this, and then ran some chalk over it. So it made sort of a softer effect instead of using ink. Sorry, I didn't describe that very well. And these letters are from K & Company. They're just sparkly chipboard letters. This is also a K & Company embellishment. Tied a little ribbon here, a piece of organza ribbon. This came from the dollar store, this measuring tape. God, I love the dollar store. Another piece of chipboard that I covered and inked. This is just a sticker. I'm not really sure who makes it. Used an edge punch here, a little bit of ink, and took some pictures of some of my containers. And just a sticker on the back, nothing too fancy here. What I love about mini albums is how they're a little bit more interactive, so they're fun to look at, little pockets and such. So every birdie welcome, that's the theme of this page. So I really love birds and backyard birding, and at this particular house we were visited by ducks and hummingbirds and juncos and chickadees, mourning doves, blue jays, and so forth. So I just wanted to sort of capture that on this page. This I just I stamped this and then cut it out, and then I just hand wrote some of the birds that came to visit us. I really like how this embellishment turned out. I just took a circle punch, distressed the edge, I put a rub-on on it, and I crumpled it up, and then used another die cut flower and just layered it with a brad. So I thought that turned out kind of cool. Use some stickles here. And love song. Everyone asks me what this is a picture of. They are baby birds. I don't know, I guess they don't really look like baby birds at first glance, but that's what they are. It's a close-up picture of a bird's nest that I found on Nest. Sorry about the glare there. A nest that was on the hill in our backyard. Just used some stick pins from the dollar store here, crumpled up this piece of paper, inked it, and then inked the crumple marks, and it made a really distressed look. Did some paper tearing on the side here. This is another piece of chipboard that I covered and inked. Dollar store letters that are falling off. This another dollar store flower, but instead of stamping it, I just used like embossing powder, silver embossing powder in the heat gun, and just used like a writing stamp. Did some layering. That's a pearl in the center. I actually cut that off of a stick pin with just like wire cutters or whatever. And there's some ribbon. So here again, just a store-bought flower layered on a dollar store one, button and rhinestone, some stickle details. This was a store-bought embellishment that I had. So this is the astilbe and the clematis that I had in my backyard. I love astilbe, it's so beautiful. And this is the final page. Did some ribbons on the side here with staples, and I was so excited because I had a package of like colored staples, and there was purple in there. And when do you get to use purple staples? You get to use purple staples on your purple mini album. So I was really excited about that. And this here actually comes off. This is like the fire pit in our backyard, and this is just a purple clip. And you flip it over, and it's just the trees in my backyard. Nothing too exciting. And over here, the brown-eyed Susans. My goodness, that glare is bad. The brown-eyed Susans, and this rub-on Love Bug. There's a story behind this. I call my husband Love Bug, and I really wanted to use this rub-on somewheres. So I said, Steven, go outside and water a tree, and I'm taking a picture of you because this is going in my album. So that's what he did. And it doesn't look posed at all. Yeah, that's my story. So, and this is our garage. And this I did the same thing with the chalk and the embossing pad, just to make it really soft. And that's it. Anyways, hope you liked it. Thanks for watching.